In today's Leeds news, Harrison's MLS return, Leeds suffer cyber attack, Joffy shining at Hull, Leeds replace Chelsea as Swedish Youth Academy host, and Melier wants to stay. Morning folks, welcome back to The View. Jer here on Wednesday morning the 5th of March with your Leeds United news. I hope you're all having a good week so far. It's a bit earlier than normal with the news today, so I might miss some bits I have to get out today. So there will be a podcast tonight, so anything that happens between now and later on today, if it happens, I'll cover on the podcast tonight. You can check that out, but we'll start off and we'll get stuck into this. We may as well. It should be a relatively short one today. We'll start off with Jack Harrison's future and some news that came out yesterday afternoon. Jack Harrison's long-term future remains very much up in the air, with his form unlikely to get him an Everton contract on a permanent basis. Harrison hasn't scored for the Toffees since February 2024. It's been over a year since the winger netted for Everton, and he's only managed 7 assists in the 2 seasons he's been there so far. A report today suggests Harrison could be in line to make a surprising return back to the MLS, where he joined Leeds from in the first place. The YEP reports that the 28-year-old, who has 3 years left on his Leeds United contract, is a target of clubs in the MLS, but a fee could be needed as he still has 3 years left on his contract. The YEP also understands that Everton are unlikely to sign Harrison on a permanent deal, but talks around a move to the MLS with Harrison's representatives are said to already have begun. Harrison will return to Leeds at least in the short term, and the fee that could be needed for the player may rule out a lot of MLS clubs, although it should be said that Atlanta United did spend £17 million on Emmanuel Latilat in January, so if the MLS clubs are starting to spend a little bit of cash more than they normally do, then maybe Harrison could see himself go back to maybe New York Red Bull as well. So we'll have to keep an eye on that situation. But yeah, very much up in the air, but it looks as if Leeds are trying to line up another club for Jack Harrison because he's likely to return to Leeds right now. Moving on to a more serious note, and yesterday Leeds United released a statement a little bit more serious than normal, and it has had a knock-on effect for some Leeds United fans. Leeds United suffered a cyber attack between the dates of the 19th of February and 24th of February that targeted the club's retail website, resulting in the card details of some customers being compromised. The club say that they have communicated directly with all of the affected customers and will continue to work with the Information Commissioner's Office around this subject. The club says that a forensic investigation was undertaken by a specialist third party as soon as the club discovered the breach and implemented measures to stop it and recover from the attack. Leeds United have apologised to those fans that have been impacted for this and are putting measures in place so it doesn't happen again. Leeds are said to have a pretty robust cyber security facility in their systems, but that still didn't stop this cyber attack from happening. Moving on. The news came out yesterday about Leeds replacing Chelsea as the possible hosts, or at least brand name, for a Swedish youth academy, and Leeds will take over from Chelsea as the host of a talent hunt in Sweden this summer. According to Holland Sporten, who covered the work done by Chelsea in 2024, they claim that Leeds will take over the Halmstad edition of Chelsea's football soccer school this year. The school and camp is held in Vapno IF's facilities, and last year over 100 young players took part in the soccer school, I suppose, / trial as well. Holland Sporten say that Leeds are hoping that they will get as many young players as Chelsea did when they ran it last year, and Vapo Vice President Olof Svensson gave his take on Chelsea's decision to withdraw from the programme and Leeds United's decision to take it on, and commented on CIFA's agreement with Leeds United. CIFA stands for the Cosmo International Football Academy, and he said the following: CIFA, which held the course for Chelsea, has entered into a new agreement, so Chelsea have left and they are now concentrating on Leeds United. Vapano's fitness coach Marcelo Farias and Andreas Jadrowski visited Thorpe Arch in January and were said to be very impressed by what they saw from Leeds facilities, and Ola Svensson is said to be thrilled that Leeds United will host the event in Sweden this year, saying the following: Leeds United is a club on the rise, so it's fun. They are leading the championship and on their way back to the Premier League as it looks now, and have entered into a partnership with Red Bull and all of that, so it could be a nice club to follow into the future. 5 players last year from the programme moved across to England and signed contracts with clubs. They haven't been named as they were under 18 years of age, and the clubs haven't been named either for privacy reasons around this thing. So Leeds will take this on, and this may help Leeds just extend their youth reach beyond the borders of the UK and into Sweden. Leeds are constantly looking at newer markets for talent to bring into the club. We've seen that with the transfer strategy over the last couple of seasons as well, so it'll be an interesting one to keep an eye on. And moving on to the final story of the day, and this one relates to Joe Gelhardt and how his loan at Hull City is going and potential options for him in the future. Joe is enjoying his time at Hull City at the moment. They're a pretty dismal time sitting on the bench and in the reserves for Leeds United over the past 2 seasons. Joffy has made a big impact since moving to the Tigers, clocking up some assists and also now weighing in with a goal against Plymouth over the last few days. There is now talk about Joffy's loan move being turned into a permanent one, with fans of Hull City keen to keep the attacker at the club. Several posts on X over the course of the last couple of days have backed up this claim, with plenty of fans talking up Gelhardt as a quality addition to their side, with some going as far just to say buy him, which is interesting to say the least. The position is interesting as well, as Gelhardt initially when he went to Hull City was operating in the wide positions and doing okay, but recently he has been moved back into a more natural central position with some really good effect for him. If Leeds are promoted, it will be tough to see a future at the club for players like Joe Gelhardt, as Leeds are likely to look for more attacking options into the future, and a move away from the club on a permanent deal might be exactly what Joe Gelhardt needs to kickstart his career and show the quality that Leeds fans all know that he had when we were in the Premier League last time round. Leeds, as I say, are likely to look for more attacking options wide, 10 and in the number 9 position, which would mean that a future in that level of football for Joe Gelhardt at Leeds at the very least is unlikely, but we'll have to see what happens with Joffy. He is having a very good time down there. He's looked really busy, and on a couple of occasions he's actually helped Leeds promotion campaign with assists against the teams that Leeds are going against. So all going very well for him so far. Big fan of Joffy. I love him, love his attitude, love what he does. It's a shame that it just hasn't clicked under Daniel Farke for him for the last couple of seasons. Farke has had a very positive effect on some players, and the other players unfortunately not so much, and that unfortunately is how things happen with managers. Not every player clicks with every manager, not every player gets a benefit from new managers. Sometimes it can be the opposite. So that's the situation, folks. As I said, back tonight with a podcast this evening, probably between 7 and 7:30 time. Keep an eye out for that if you want it. If we can go earlier, we'll go earlier. It will be a live stream as well, and then back in the morning for Leeds United news. We will have a match day preview before the game at the weekend as well. So let me know down below your thoughts on the game at the weekend and Leeds promotion push after Burnley picked up some points yesterday. Let me know down below. I'll talk to you tomorrow. See ya.